So last week, I hit you with a whole bunch of numbers, a whole bunch of stats that proved why my bets were going to do so well. Well, you see the stats. You see them right there. 6-10 against the spread, 7-9 straight up. I had a horrible first week of the season. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hashtag Sports and welcome to week 2 of Razor Sharp Picks. And we're really hoping that these picks get better. We know that we struggled last year at the beginning of the season, and now the beginning of the season comes here and we're struggling again. Don't know why, but we still ended up with an above 500 record last year. Let's hope we do it again. King Cam, good to see you. Always glad to have you in the chat. Cameron coming in with his picks. Are these straight up picks, Cameron, or are these picks against the spread? Let me know in the comment section. But guys, we are now for a little more than 4 units back from where we want to be. We want to be in the green, right? We want to be in the green or in the black, however you call it. I don't know. We want to be making green in the black, not in the red like we are right now. So we got some catching up to do. Cameron comes in and says his picks are Bills, Eagles, Bengals, Lions, Colts, Bucks, Jags, Packers, Chargers, 49ers, Giants, Cowboys, Commanders, Broncos, Patriots, Saints, Steelers. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. We might match a lot there. We might match a lot there. But of course, it all starts Thursday night. Tomorrow night, Thursday night football, you got the Minnesota Vikings against the Philadelphia Eagles. This spread keeps coming down. And I want to say that only 2 games last week did the spread actually matter. What do I mean by that? I mean, there were only 2 games last week where a team covered the spread but did not win the game. So, people talk about all the time, do spreads actually matter? And statistics show they really don't. So who do you have winning these games? A lot of times they're going to cover that spread. I don't know why, to be honest with you, it will bounce back on Sunday versus the Raiders. I hope so. And guys, don't forget to join me on Sunday when we play the Raiders right here on Hashtag Sports, live play-by-play and reaction to the game between the Buffalo Bills and the Las Vegas Raiders. Bills 9.5-point favorites. We'll talk about that game in a little bit. But the first game we're going to talk about is that Thursday night football matchup, the Minnesota Vikings on the road taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Listen, we all know about Kirk Cousins when it comes to prime time, right? And this is why I don't understand why the money currently is going on the Vikings so hard. Because yes, the Eagles won against the New England Patriots on Sunday, but they can't be happy with their performance, especially that offense. Remember that the Patriots gave them a 16-point lead. They spotted them 16 points to start the game. And then the Patriots came back, made it a contest, had a chance to win. King Cam says Eagles on this one. And I got to agree with you. I think the Eagles are going to win this game. I think they're going to win by more than a touchdown. I think that obviously Justin Jefferson's a monster, right? He's a beast. But I think that we're seeing the decline of Kirk Cousins here. And listen, Kirk Cousins, really good quarterback throughout his career. Don't care what you say about him. But now we're talking about getting into later stages of his career. Luckily for him, he has a guy like Justin Jefferson. He can always just throw the ball up. And a lot of times Jefferson's going to get it, right? And now you have Jordan Addison. He had a touchdown last week. If those two can hit it off, this could be a good 1-2 duo. But you look over at Philadelphia, great offensive line. Minnesota turned the ball over 3 times week 1. Philly's going to turn that into points, right? If you turn the ball over against the Eagles, they're going to turn that into points. Give me the Eagles to win this game. Eagles cover that 6.5-point spread. So now we go on to the Sunday slate of games. The Sunday slate of games, and we're going to start with our team. We're going to start with the game that I will be doing right here on Hashtag Sports when the Las Vegas Raiders travel east to face our Buffalo Bills. The Bills, 9.5-point favorites. And guys, we all know what they say about teams traveling from West Coast to East Coast. Now, it doesn't matter so much early in the season. Week 2, most of the guys still pretty well rested. But wasn't Las Vegas on the road at Denver last week? Now, it's not that far to travel from Las Vegas to Denver. But you just think about the lag traveling from Las Vegas to Denver, which I believe is an hour time difference, back to Las Vegas, and now traveling to Buffalo. I think that's a lot in a short period of time for any team, especially a team with Jimmy G, um, who was 1-0. You know, the Las Vegas Raiders, hey, they're 1-0, the only 1-0 team in the AFC West right now. But I think that ends on Sunday. I think the Buffalo Bills win this game at home, their home opener. They're clearly upset about how Monday night went. Give me the Buffalo Bills to win this game. The Buffalo Bills will cover that 9.5-point spread. And guys, if you're watching this live, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. But if you're watching this on delay, let me, or when it's not live later on, let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Also, we're going to try to break these down, make them into YouTube shorts, maybe your TikToks, whatever the case may be. Make sure you're following #sports on all social media platforms. Again, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, all that good stuff. Instagram, right? Whatever they call it. All that good stuff. So follow us, and thank you so much for being part of #Nation. Moving on, we got the Chicago Bears, going up against Tampa Bay. Listen, the Bears kind of let a lot of people down last week, right? The Bears thought they were gonna beat the Green Bay Packers in Chicago, exercise the demon that is the Green Bay Packers, but Jordan Love had other ideas, and the Chicago Bears defense, or the Chicago Bears team, couldn't get out of their own way. Justin Fields definitely does not look like he has made the gains that you would expect him to in the offseason. Now that he does have some weapons, maybe a little bit better of an offensive line, this defense still looks porous, right? Last year, they were one of the worst against the pass, and it looks like this year it's going to be the same thing for the Chicago Bears. Tampa Bay, listen, there's a report that just came out that Baker Mayfield knew what Minnesota signals were when it came to defense. And at halftime, he went in and told the whole team, he said, listen, when they put up this hand or these fingers, they're going to cover two. When they put this up, this is what they're doing. And so they had an idea of what the defense was doing as they were switching into their sets, and they still only won by 3. I mean, that to me is something else. They still only won by 3, even though, like I said, reports are coming out that Baker Mayfield knew the defense the Vikings were in before they were really in it. So there's a problem there. If you know the type of defense that the defense is running, you could still only busted win by 3 points, only put 20 in the game. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win this game at home, 3-point favorites. I think this is one of those rare instances where they win, but the Bears do cover that 3-point spread. Going to Atlanta, the ATL, where the Atlanta Falcons are 1-point underdogs against the Green Bay Packers. Atlanta looked pretty good last week against the Carolina Panthers, beating them, I think it was 24-10 was the final score. But it was mostly running attack, right? And the defense did a good job holding the Carolina Panthers. But look at the Carolina Panthers team. You're talking about rookie head coach, rookie quarterback. Couldn't get anything really going. Turned the ball over, I believe, 3 times themselves in that game. Just talk about the Packers a little bit. In that game against the Bears, they looked really good. Jordan Love looked more than serviceable. Pac-Man Jones, Adam Jones looked really good in the running game and passing game. Had a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown in that game. So good for him. Good for fantasy owners. If you had him, obviously, I like the Packers to win this game on the road. 1-point underdog, or 1-point favorites, I should say. Give me the Packers to win this game. Packers cover that 1-point spread. Next, we got the Indianapolis Colts going against the Houston Texans. The Colts, 1.5-point favorites. Now, this is the battle of rookie head coaches, rookie quarterbacks. A lot of youth here. So that's why in this game, I expect to see a sloppy game. I would personally pick the under in this game if I were going to bet over and unders, which I might. I don't know. But right now, we're simply talking about spreads, right? And you look at this Indianapolis Colts team was able to hang in there against the Jacksonville Jaguars. In fact, I believe if Richardson doesn't get hurt on that last drive, he does make it a 3-point game, 24-21, with an onside kick pending. Unfortunately, he gets hurt. He goes down, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are unable to punch in with – the Indianapolis Colts are unable to punch it in against the Jaguars with Gardner Minshew as their quarterback. So I think that the Colts – look pretty good. I think they're only going. Both these teams are only going to do nothing but improve as far as the youth of this team. C.J. Stroud for the Texans, and then Richardson for the Colts. I think that the Colts right now have the edge. I think later on when these two teams play, division rivals, I think it might be a different story. But give me the Indianapolis Colts to win on the road, a divisional game on the road. Give me to have them beat the 1.5-point spread. Going to Detroit. First of all, congratulations, Detroit, on beating the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champions, on Thursday night. That also means, as part of your reward, you get some extra rest before Pete Carroll comes into town with Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, and a good Seattle Seahawks team. A good Seattle Seahawks team that might be a little snake bitten after what just happened to them against the Rams in week 1. Listen, probably the biggest surprise of week 1 was not just the Rams beating the Seahawks, but the Rams really controlled that game, at least the second half. The second half, they outscored the Seahawks. I think it was 22-0. The Seahawks came out flat in the second half, and the Rams took advantage. Matthew Stafford said, "We're not done here yet," and that's without Cooper Kupp with the Rams. So I think that the Seattle Seahawks begin to get a little more competitive. You're not going to see what you saw last week out of the Seahawks too often. Pete Carroll normally has his team playing better than that. This Detroit Lions team coming home, Ford Field. I think the Detroit Lions fan base is going to be excited for this game. Home opener for the Detroit Lions. I think the Lions win this game. It's a 5-point spread. I think that's a lot. I don't think that this Lions team is good enough to cover big spreads. And I'm not saying 5 points is a huge spread, but I just don't know if Detroit's good enough to pull away from teams. And that's going to be something that's really interesting to find out as the season progresses. Is this Detroit Lions team good enough to put good teams away? The Seattle team, no matter what you think about last week, remember one thing that you have to remember week 1, whether you're betting or not, or whether you're just doing this for fun, not to overreact to what happened week 1, right? Week 1, did the Seahawks look bad? Yes. But do we know what we normally get out of Seattle Seahawks? Yes. I would not be surprised if the Seahawks win this game. I just think in Detroit, the Motor City, this fan base is going to be so excited to see this team play, a team that many say are not only going to make the playoffs, but potentially win the NFC North. Give me the Detroit Lions to win this matchup. Give me the Seahawks to cover that 5-point spread. Going to Tennessee, where last week Ryan Tannehill just couldn't get out of his own way. Ryan Tannehill is trying to make the Tennessee Titans coaching staff move to the rookie quarterback a lot faster than they want to. Because listen, Tannehill looked bad last week. He didn't look Josh Allen bad, but he looked pretty bad last week. He looked like he is a quarterback that's past his time, right? Quarterback that needs to be put out to pasture and maybe be a backup for one of these young quarterbacks to step up and take that mantle of the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. The Chargers, on the other hand, lose a tough one to the Miami Dolphins in LA. That Miami game was amazing, probably the best game of the week. Unfortunately, the Chargers come on the wrong end of that. I think this is going to be a little bit of that revenge type game for the LA Chargers. They want to get that nasty taste out of their mouth after losing to the Miami Dolphins. Remember, this Chargers team, a playoff team last season. Give me the Chargers to win this game. Give me the Chargers to cover that 3-point spread on the road. Now moving to probably my favorite game of the weekend, other than, of course, our Bills, as long as they win, please win. The Baltimore Ravens in a divisional matchup, the AFC North against the Cincinnati Bengals. Guys, look what happened last week. You got the Bengals, you got the Chiefs, and you got the Bills all sitting at 0-1, all getting losses last week. And these are 3 teams who are the favorite at the beginning of the season to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Now, again, you don't want to overreact, right? Week 1, some teams just don't quite have that going yet. We talked about last week quarterbacks who don't play a single down in preseason, how they normally come out flat in the regular season opener. And we saw that across the board, right? Jalen Hurts didn't play in the preseason. Yeah, the Eagles won. Jalen Hurts looked a little flat. Lamar Jackson didn't play. Yes, his team won against Texans, but he didn't look so hot. Joe Burrow didn't play in the preseason. He looked pretty bad. Like, he didn't just look bad. He looked fairly bad last week, and it showed. Unfortunately, his team could not pull it out. Justin Herbert, his team lost last week. So you see this continue to happen, and you see these slow starts. It makes me really wonder why teams still hold back their quarterbacks. Now, in this situation, Joe Burrow gets hurt in training camp, so really keep him out for precautionary measures. Now, can Cincinnati right this ship? They are 3.5-point favorites at home. And I just think that this Cincinnati team really doesn't want to fall 0-2 in this division and 0-2 in their own division, right? You have to remember this is back-to-back divisional games for the Cincinnati Bengals. So they really, I think, need this one early on. Now, listen, there's no such thing as a must win in week 2 of the NFL season. But I think that if they want to really maintain the fact that they're the best team in the AFC North and not really have an uphill battle the rest of the way, then they have to win this game. And I think they get the job done at home opener for the Cincinnati Bengals. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals to win this game, but give me the Baltimore Ravens. Keep this one close. Again, this is a game where I'd be picking the under. The Bengals win, but the Ravens cover that 3.5-point spread. Going to another team, we just said 0-1, the 0-1 Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl favorite in the AFC, to represent going into Jacksonville and playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville coming off a pretty impressive win against a division rival in the Indianapolis Colts on the road. What happens now that they're home? Travis Kelce will be back. At least it looks like Kelce will be back for this game. How much does he play, and will he be at 100%? That's something that you really have to think about going into this one. I look at this Kansas City Chiefs team, and I think a lot about Cincinnati and Buffalo and Kansas City. Like, they're all in that same, like, if one of these three teams start 0-2, then the questions might start to stir, especially for Cincy and Buffalo a little bit more, because Kansas City, obviously, they've won 2 Super Bowls in the past 4 seasons, so you're not too concerned about Patrick Mahomes and what they can do. But still, the wide receivers become an issue in Kansas City after what we saw last week. They didn't do too much on Thursday, but I like Andy Reid, extra rest, knowing that it's not, again, no such thing as a must win in week 1. But at the same time, you do want to get that win. You want to get that win against an AFC foe who might be there when you're talking about tiebreaker. And listen, Jacksonville looked good last week, but they definitely did not show that they're a dominant team by any stretch of the imagination. They might be the dominant team in the AFC South, but when it comes to Miami, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Kansas City, Jacksonville, they haven't made themselves put themselves up there as one of the better teams. Obviously, Miami, in my opinion, had the most impressive win week 1 and looked like the most impressive team at the end of week 1 coming out of the AFC. But this Jacksonville Jaguars team isn't far behind, and they're going to be there come playoff time, probably win the AFC South and maybe make some noise in the playoffs. But this game, again, Andy Reid, give me extra time, extra rest. Give me Patrick Mahomes to pull this one out on the road. Kansas City wins this game. Kansas City covers that 3.5 point spread. I have 3 points up there. I have 3.5, so I'll have to correct that. But give me Kansas City win the game and cover the spread 3 or 3.5. Really doesn't matter to me. Moving on, we got the San Francisco 49ers, who dominated the Steelers last week in a divisional matchup against the LA Rams. The Rams coming off that impressive surprise victory against the Seahawks. Now they go back for another divisional game against this really tough Niner team. 8-point spread here. I think that's a lot. I know San Fran really took it to it's the Steelers last week. I understand that, and I know the weapons that San Fran has, whether you're talking about Christian McCaffrey or whether you're talking about Ayuk on the outside, whether you're talking about Deebo Samuel on the inside. All 3 of them played a major role in last week's game. Brock Purdy played well enough, played good. Now, again, I personally feel that you put anybody, you put me, you put you into that San Francisco offense at quarterback, and I think we do a pretty good job. So I think that while the win was impressive, I don't trust Purdy to blow teams out too often. I don't trust them to blow teams out too often. So give me the 49ers to win this matchup. I think the 49ers are the best team in the NFC, and it showed last week. Give me them to, at least right now, give me them to win this game. But give me the Rams to cover an 8-point spread. I liked what I saw of this Rams team. This defense last week played pretty well, especially in that second half against a good Seattle team. Aaron Donald looked really good. Matthew Stafford, as long as he can stay healthy, I think this Rams team has a chance to surprise some people coming down the stretch, maybe looking for a wild card spot. And, they could prove something this Sunday. Give me the Niners to win this game. Give me the Rams to cover that 8-point spread. Moving on to Arizona, to the desert, where, by the way, want to remind everybody that hashtag sports is sponsored by Mr. Rogers Homes. Mr. Rogers Homes, one of the top 1% realtors in Arizona. You look for retirement homes, something like that in Arizona. Make sure you contact them, misterrogershomes.com. All of the information down in the link in the bio below. So again, we thank them for sponsoring hashtag sports. But we talk about the New York Giants coming off that embarrassing Sunday night football loss. Man, what an embarrassing loss that was against the Dallas Cowboys. 40-0? Was it 40? I forget because I turned it off because it was so embarrassing. Like, they didn't even come out in the second half at all, it seemed like. But they gave up a defensive touchdown early, a special teams touchdown early, and they just couldn't get it going, right? Or I guess it was a special teams touchdown first, right? The field goal block. Ran back for a touchdown, then the defensive touchdown. Really made an uphill battle. But as we saw in the Eagles-Patriots game, when you talk about a team that didn't give up in the Patriots, you can come back from those things. You can come back from those things and maybe not win, make a game of it, make it respectable. The Giants did not do that. They folded it in early on, and it showed. And Dable could say whatever he wants in the post-game press conference about how his team never gives up and yada, yada, yada. All the coach speech he wants. They gave up on Sunday night, plain and simple. Now, I think that there's plenty of time in the season to still make this a very successful season if you're a Giants fan, and it starts this Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals. Listen, Arizona is mailing it in, right? Arizona is tanking this season. I'm not saying I agree with it, but listen, Williams is there staring you in the face. Harrison Jr. is there staring you in the face. If he selects to come out into the NFL draft to declare at the end of the season. So I'm not blaming them per se. Like, where are they going, right? But personally, I'm not a fan of tanking. But give me the Giants to win this game. The Giants will cover that 5.5-point spread. Then you go, again, the team that just defeated the Giants, the Dallas Cowboys. Now they play another New York team, except for this one's at home. Thank goodness for them. They don't have to go back to East Rutherford, New Jersey, where a quarterback on Monday night just ended his season at 4 plays in, and everyone knows how atrocious that field is. Well, luckily for Dallas, they don't have to worry about going back there because they play the Jets in Dallas on Sunday. 9-point favorites, a big spread here. We all know that Wilson will be the starting quarterback for the Jets. So that's why this spread, the spread from this game, pre-Aaron Rodgers going down on Monday night to now, probably jumped dramatically. If Aaron Rodgers was still playing for the Jets right now, I imagine this would be like a 3, maybe 4.5-point spread in Dallas. But fact of the matter is he is not, unfortunately. And that sucks for Jets fans, and I still feel bad for them. They wanted this great thing, and it looked good. And look, their defense played outside their mind on Monday. 3 interceptions of Josh Allen and that fumble recovery. Obviously, a special teams return in overtime, a huge win for the New York Jets. But I think the party kind of stops there, right? And I mentioned this on Monday night after the win, after I was broadcasting. It's interesting to me how they reacted to that win. They acted like they had just won the Super Bowl. Salah came on the field and was celebrating with the team, like directly after the kickoff return. I just couldn't believe that, and I know you want to be a player's coach and all that, and it sounds good, but you also have to have a sense of professionalism. It's funny when we saw what happened to Ken Dorsey last year after week 3, throwing a fit after they lost to the Jets. And now we see Salah celebrating with his team like that. To me, passion is passion. I don't understand why people got upset with Ken Dorsey last year. Like, you have passion. That's a good thing. Salah has passion. That's a good thing. But at the same time, act like you've been there before. There has to be a little bit of that. And there wasn't any of that last week for the Jets. Good for them. They got the great win I just don't see it happening here. Give me Dallas to win this game. Dallas covers a 9-point spread. I just think this defense for Dallas is really good. I think they might put up a score or two in this game. They're going to confuse Zach Wilson quite a bit. Now, we saw Breece Hall look good. How does he do against this Dallas Cowboy defense? It's going to be another story, and we're going to see how they do. But give me Dallas to win this game. Give me Dallas to cover a 9-point spread. Now, the last of the 4 o'clock games before we get into the primetime games, the Washington Commanders going to Denver to play the Denver Broncos. That really should say DEN. So I'm going to switch that real quick because I hate when I make mistakes. And I already got called one. I need to make sure I fix the other ones, right? So we're going to go ahead and fix that right now. How did I do? How did I do? I tell you what. But yeah, we can talk about this game a little bit. The Washington Commanders barely pulling out a victory last week against the Cardinals, a team, like I said, kind of tanking this season. And so, and to me, Washington got outplayed for a majority of this game. Washington got outplayed. And the Denver Broncos lost, right, to the Raiders, and it was a close loss. And we're just not sure what to expect out of this Denver Broncos team. But most people would say that Russell Wilson did look better than he did last season, right? You still have Sean Payton there, so you know this team's going to contend, right? Sean Payton has the pedigree. You know what Sean Payton is capable of. This Denver team looked like they got their receivers more involved in the offense, looked very good. This defense is still very good. I like Denver to win this game in Mile High. But I don't like them to win this game by a whole bunch. We saw them keep it close last week. Maybe I'm going to give them the cover of spread. Yeah, I'm going to switch that last-minute switch. Denver wins this game. Denver covers a 3.5-point spread. I literally had Washington. I don't know if you can see that on my sheet. But I'm going to switch that last-minute switch. Just because I think that Washington is not that great. I think that, they got lucky to beat a Cardinals team who's mailing it in. Like, that's how much I'm not a believer in the Washington Commanders right now. I think Denver is not a great team. But when I look at this Washington Commanders team, there's no reason for me to believe that they can hold their own against a competitive football team after what I saw last week. There really isn't. And so don't like them right now as far as Washington Commanders. But that is what is. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you like Washington? I personally don't. I think that they might get 3-4 wins all season. I think just because they beat the Cardinals, they still might be fighting with the Cardinals for the first overall pick in the draft. I'm not sure. I just think that that low of the Washington Commanders right now. But moving on. We all got to move on. I know Louis T wouldn't be happy with what I just said, and I love Louis T. So I'm going to move on. Moving on to Sunday Night Football, you got a divisional game, very intriguing if you are a Buffalo Bills fan. You got the Miami Dolphins at the New England Patriots. So many people I'm hearing early on picking the New England Patriots to win this game, and I don't understand why. And now, if New England wins this game, you have to really reconsider everything we think we know about the AFC East, or at least everything we think we know about the Miami Dolphins. Tyreek Hill came out after getting 200 yards, says I don't know if I'm a cheetah or if I'm a lion, because he doesn't think anyone can guard him in the NFL. So it'll be very interesting to see. Because listen, if New England wins this game, they're not winning a shootout, right? They're not going to win a shootout like we saw last week against the Chargers. They're not going to win a 35-32 ball game. That's not going to be the recipe for winning in New England. If New England wins this game, it's going to be a drag-out fight, just like the fight we saw them put up against the Philadelphia Eagles, right? 24-21, 23-20, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not sure that's going to happen. This Miami team looked really good on Sunday. And if Tua Tagovailoa could stay healthy and continue to produce those type of numbers, remember, Tua had 3 turnovers in that game, and he still put up 460-plus passing yards. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable how good that offense looked. Now, their defense, a little suspect. But do you really trust New England's offense to take advantage of that? If New England has a strength, it's their defense. If they have a weakness, it's that offense. I don't trust Mac Jones to take advantage of many opportunities, right? Now, yes, he put up decent numbers against the Eagles, but remember the Eagles got out to a 16-0 lead, and so New England had to pass the ball. They had to pass the ball. Stevenson was a non-factor at some points in that game because he had to be. I like Miami to win this game. And I don't understand, why the logic of New England winning. I know that it's in New England. I understand all that, but give me Miami to win this game on Sunday Night Football. I'm sure New England fans, Miami was a thorn in your side during those Tom Brady years. They would always go down to Miami and get beat somehow. Miracle in Miami, whatever it's called, just would always get beat down there. But I don't see you guys returning the favor now that Miami is one of those Super Bowl favorites and New England is the team kind of on the outside looking in. I don't see New England returning the favor here. Give me Miami to win this game. Give me Miami to cover a 3-point spread. Going on to Monday Night Football. Monday night, waiting all day for Sunday night. I don't know how it works. I'm tired. It's late. Give me a break. Give me a break. But it's Monday Night Football. We have 2 Monday Night Football games this week. Why do we have 2 Monday Night Football games the second week of the season instead of the first? I don't know. Still baffles me, but that's just the way it is. So we have a 7 o'clock Monday Night Football game and an 8 o'clock Monday Night Football game. Starting with this one, the New Orleans Saints, 3-point favorites going into Carolina, playing the Carolina Panthers. New Orleans coming off that 16-15 victory over Tennessee. Gifted a victory, if you will, against Tennessee Titans. Carolina, a disappointing loss against the Atlanta Falcons, division rivalry. Obviously, if you're Carolina, you want to win this one. Back-to-back divisional matchups. You're at home, your home opener. You want to win this one. I just don't see that happening. Again, you got a young team. You got that rookie quarterback. You're looking to improve week by week, and I appreciate that. But this New Orleans team, Derek Carr, they were able to get some things going late in that Tennessee game. They tried to give that game away. They really did. So it's tough for me to say that the Saints are going to blow the Panthers away. But I do think the Saints are going to win this game. And listen, I said week 1, I'll say it this week, that NFC South is going to be interesting. And not interesting because they're really good. You could have a winner of this division with the 9-8, 8-9 record easily. And it wouldn't surprise me. And that's scary to think about, that a home team, a team with losing record would have a home game in the playoffs, but wouldn't be the first time it happened, right? Wouldn't be the first time it happened. In fact, I still remember 7-9 Seattle Seahawks, Marshawn Lynch running through a New Orleans Saints defense to upset the Saints in that game. Give me this, the Saints could potentially be an 8-9 team who does that to another team this season. But give me the Saints to win this game. The Saints will cover that 3-point spread the first Monday Night Football game. Then you go to the latter one. And I think this is the game that if you're watching a Monday Night Football game, I think this is the one that you'll probably watch, right? The Cleveland Browns going to Pittsburgh to play against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers coming off that embarrassing loss against the San Francisco 49ers. And kind of like what I said about the Seattle Seahawks, I'll say here again about the Pittsburgh Steelers. And their head coach, right? I talk about how Seattle's head coach Pete Carroll doesn't do embarrassing losses well, and he'll have his team ready to go. I think the same thing about this Pittsburgh Steelers team. I think the same thing about this Steelers team at home. Mike Tomlin, he's not going to want to get embarrassed twice in a row. He's going to have this team ready to play, and I think that you look at a Steelers team who's talked about being on the precipice of potentially being a good team once again. Is their quarterback that guy, right? And after week 1, a lot of people saying no, he's not. But remember, it's 1 week. 1 week. Let's slow our roll. Let's take our time. Let's completely look at this process. That's what it is. It's a process, okay? So give Kenny Pickett a chance to prove that he can be a quarterback in this league. You saw what Cleveland did against Cincinnati. Looked really good, right? Really good. They let Joe Burrow throw for a total of, 86 yards? And that's Joe Burrow. If they did that against Joe Burrow, what are they going to do against Kenny Pickett? I know that's what a lot of people are saying, and I understand it. We could potentially see another butt whooping for the Steelers on Monday Night Football, right? If Cleveland comes out and plays as well as they did against the Bengals and the Steelers come out and play as poorly as they did against the 49ers, we could see another butt whooping. But I don't see that happening. I do not see Mike Tomlin letting that happen. I think the Steelers team is still right there. I think the Steelers team is still going to be a contender for a wild card spot at the end of the season. Cleveland, I don't know how they're going to handle the success of last week. They're all juiced about the success of last week. Well, now it's time to move on to this week. It's time to move on to this week. And are you ready for a Pittsburgh Steelers team that's ready to hurt people now? That's ready to really dig down deep after a humiliating loss last Sunday. The Steelers 2.5-point underdogs. I like them winning this matchup outright. I like them at home on Monday night, coming out and just winning this matchup outright. Give me the Steelers to win this one, and the Steelers then beat a 2.5-point spread. So those are my picks. Sorry, late tonight. I'm tired, so the excitement isn't there, but the excitement will be there Sunday when our Buffalo Bills go up against the Las Vegas Raiders. Join me live. I think it's a 1 o'clock game. We'll say it's a 1 o'clock game for now until you tell me otherwise in the chat. As the Buffalo Bills play the Las Vegas Raiders, hopefully the Buffalo Bills have a nice bounce back from what happened Monday when they lost to the New York, New Jersey Jets. Bills 0-1, looking to move on. Me, 7-9 straight up, 6-10 against the spread. I'm definitely looking to move on and move up. So we're going to see if that happens. One more time, straight up: Philadelphia, Buffalo, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, Indy, Detroit, Chargers, Cincy, Kansas City, San Fran, New York Giants, Dallas, Denver, Miami, New Orleans, Pittsburgh against the spread. Philly, Buffalo, Chicago, Green Bay, Indy, Seattle, LA Chargers, Baltimore, KC, LA Rams, Giants, Dallas, Denver, Miami, New Orleans, Pittsburgh. Those are my picks. Let me know your picks in the comment section. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for joining me on this late Wednesday night. Enjoy your week of football. Starts tomorrow again. Minnesota at Philly. Going to be a good one. Going to have some fun with it. And going to have fun the rest of the week and all season long right here on #sports. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.